Welcome back to Shem's Universe. So today, guys, we're going to go over how to actually defeat enemy year energy. So a lot of people have been asking me lately, like, okay, so how do I actually defeat the enemy year? How do I actually get one up on my enemy year? Whether it be numerically, meaning like your universal year is an enemy to you, to your life path, whether it be your personal year that's an enemy to you, or whether it be the Chinese astrological new year that's an enemy to your year vibration pillar. In any of these circumstances, there's actually multiple ways to get around it. And I think that if you have this distinctive formula, you won't really have any issues with enemy years. They'll all feel the same to you because you're going to use the same formula no matter what. So what I personally do is this, is that on New Year's, but right before New Year's, really, like we're approaching it now, October, I do what's called a transit report reading on myself. I'm a Virgo rising, so I'll look at, for 2026, what's most likely for me, what's happening. And I'll look at that transit report and I'll gauge my health, my wellness, my family relations, business, finance, and then overall luck. From there, I'll know what type of year I'm going to have, at what time of that specific year I'm going to be making a lot of money, what time of that specific year I'm not going to be making a lot of money, and then I'll gauge things from there. The next important crucial thing I know is that in my rising sign season, I always make the most money, which is right now for me, I'm a Virgo rising. So I know that during that time, I can make a lot more money and take a lot more risk because that's the time of my ascent. It's ascendant season. So I know no matter what, during that time, unless my transit report says otherwise, I can definitely take most risks in that time. So if I'm in an enemy year, that's when I'm going to start taking the most risks. I'll give you guys a very direct example that you can actually cross-reference and check yourself. For years, I wasn't doing this type of long format videos. And then last August, I began doing it again during Virgo season, around August 27th. Why? Because that's when I realized that this is now the time where in which I can start taking more risks. I want to put more content out there. I want to be more creative. I want to express myself more. And then in turn, of course, I made more money via YouTube and got more subscribers. And at that time, I was very dominant in the crypto markets as well. So all of this stuff actually worked out quite well. Understanding that, you can cross-reference this to yourself and then understand that how have my ascendant sign seasons been for the last 5-10 years. Like, start looking back at events that has happened during that time, because that's a very crucial one, guys. Is if you can know each year that, okay, the year might be a bit rough, but during my ascendant season I can get a lot of groundwork done. That could put you eons ahead of other people just by having that 1 month where you know you can go extremely hard, especially for monetary goals, and you could probably see them through at that time. This time I said to play lottery, gamble, whatever you're into, like when it comes to taking risks, you should do it at that time, obviously in a conservative and smart way. Next, what I would say is that, of course, like I was saying, there's the transit report. You can also use rituals to get ahead as well. So what I mean by that is there's enemy year rituals for numbers, meaning there's a specific one for numbers that you can do that is very, very helpful if you're in an unfriendly personal year that you're about to enter, or an unfriendly universal year. So like my guys who are life path 11 to life path 7 this year, a ritual would have helped you guys a lot in respects to not being affected by the 9 year, meaning getting a bad reputation, getting sick, things like that's what's happening with a lot of 7s and 11s. Prime example of a famous 11 would be like Little Baby, who's been going through a lot of, I guess I'd say a lot of snark this year from his fans just for the way he's been behaving. I can't talk too much about that on YouTube, but if you guys know, you know. So understanding that, you begin to realize that you can use universal years to either strengthen you, because you can use it as leverage, or you can use it as like what you look at a yellow light as, like a cautionary tale, an amber light, whatever you want to call it. Look at Drake and Kendrick last year. I'm just using very famous people that everybody should universally kind of know. Drake was in an okay year. He's a 6 and a 13 over 4. That's okay. Was it a trine universal year for him last year? No. Last year was an 8 year, which was very good for Kendrick, who's a life path 8. So that worked out very well for him. And of course, he sort of won that war. And then as the year progressed, and now we're in 2025, you're starting to see the pendulum now shift back towards Drake instead, where in which he's more dominant. So I'm just making you guys understand that there's different years and different seasons for everybody. And if you can understand how that stuff sort of works and then use this timing to your advantage, you'll get ahead a lot easier, because you'll know that there's certain times where you're just not really meant to do much, and there's times where you're meant to do a lot. The times where you're meant to do a lot, you got to push. And the times where you're not meant to do a lot, but maybe you still have to, you got to use certain glitches like the transit reports or the rituals to then see your way through those things. Of course, using different timings like the Ascendant season can also work quite well. Now, let's say all of those things are in play, but you still need to get things done now, this month, this week, whatever. There's other options available to you. The next ones available to you are by using things like lucky colors, and then lucky days and lucky gems. What do I mean by that? You can use lucky colors in the sense of by wearing, if you're in an enemy year, you should never wear an unlucky color at all. Never wear an unlucky color during an enemy year. If you're in an enemy Chinese New Year, or an enemy year when it comes to your personal or like I was saying, universal New Year, do not wear anything that's an enemy to you whatsoever, because you're literally just self-sabotaging yourself. It's like you're going uphill and then taking a couple steps back and then going uphill again and taking a couple steps back. You're just literally self-sabotaging yourself and saying that you're on a mission. Use your lucky colors, utilize lucky days to the best of your ability, and you're going to find that you have a lot better luck in comparison to when you don't do those said things. You got to utilize your lucky colors for sure, and you definitely got to utilize lucky days, meaning there's days of the week that are lucky for everybody. Like Mondays are good for 11s or 2s and 7s. You have Sundays that are good for 1s. You got Thursdays that are good for 3s. You got Fridays that are good for 6. 8's good for Saturdays are good for 8s. And the list goes on, guys. You know what I mean? So there's like Life Path 5s Wednesday. And we have 4s, which do quite well on Tuesdays. So understanding this, guys, is you can use these days even for lucky things. You can use the lunar calendar, the lunar cycles, understanding what time of the month that you're in, to actually have a lot more dominance as well. But these are all things that, like I said, if for those things, it's a little bit more detailed. You might need a professional like myself or another numerologist or astrologist to help you out with that sort of timing when it comes to like waning or crescent moons. And you can start getting things done in that sort of way. But there's always things to do. An enemy year can be completely defeated. Do not let anybody fool you into thinking like, oh, just stay low key during your enemy year and you can't do anything. You can get rich as F in your enemy year. You can do anything you want in an enemy year, enemy season. But you just have to know how to operate and how to move and know the proper glitches to actually see these things through. For monetary gains, keep your health intact, keep your family together. All of these things can be kept together very well if you're actually implementing the right knowledge, and more importantly, at the right time. All right, so that does conclude my video for today, guys. If you have any questions from whatsoever, just leave in the comment section. Aside from that, guys, please like, subscribe. Holla at me for today, guys. Peace.